Hi
guys, Doug here from 2+ Tough, and today we are doing another Q from you. These have been immensely popular. Surprise to me that someone would want to hear my opinion on things. If you have a question that you'd like another opinion on, go ahead and click subscribe, leave it in the comments down below, and we'll get to it in the next round of videos. Today's question comes from Droggy. He asks what I would recommend for a thematic Demons of Khorne and Chaos army. Thank you, Droggy. That's a great question. I understand the tension in making a thematic Khorne demon army, and if you are not familiar with Khorne and Chaos stuff, here's the thing. Khorne hates wizards. He hates the use of magic, thinks that it's dishonorable, and he just despises the wizard. So it makes it kind of odd when you're trying to summon demons without magic. So that's kind of the tension that every demon player feels, essentially. But how would I make a thematic army? I'm going to go over really 3 ways to do that. The first one is having primarily demons as your, warriors on the table, and then with a small contingent of people. This is all really going to be based around a few key models. All of these types of ways to do this is based around having a Blood Secretor from the starter set, and possibly a War Shrine, if that's something that the buff is there that you would like. Really anything beyond that, we can pick and choose what we want, but those are really the 2 models that really bring out the keyword synergies in this army. So for the demon one, what I would say is get a ton of bloodletters. My friend Mark calls it the bloodletter bomb, right? Where you just take 30 of those guys. You can do the +1 attack from the Blood Secretor. You're getting all kinds of bonuses to hit and wound. So you can just really max out. They have an ability that does mortal wounds. So just taking a simple unit up to 11, kind of like what we discussed about in the skeleton video, where you just take the skeletons and then turn them up to 11. Of course, you can support them with a few artillery pieces. Skull cannons are not the best, but they can get work done, as well as obviously bloodthirsters to get in there and mingle it up. I would suggest taking some Chaos Warriors with the Khorne keyword to keep it thematic, but they would be really good because they're a little bit heavier to go in and sit on objectives. Maybe give them a shield in the weapon so that, since their job is to defend things as they're getting shot up by magic and stuff, people are trying to clear them off of zones to get that mortal wound saved with the shield. The next thing I want to talk about is doing a primarily mortal army with demon allies kind of integrated. So for that, what I would really suggest is basically buying a bunch of these boxes up here. The ones you can see, the Slaves to Darkness sets, things like that. You're not going to use the wizards for this one, but you want everything else in there. It still makes a great deal. You got a Chaos Warriors, Chariot, and a unit of Knights. So you really can't go wrong with that. Give them all the Khorne keyword. And again, you're going to want to integrate those starter set models. Now you want the Blood Stoker, the guy who gives +3 inches to move, because that'll be important. The Blood Secretor, and a War Shrine if you want to go that way as well. And this time what you're doing is using Bloodbound models to buff up Slaves to Darkness things, because they have the Khorne keyword and it totally works. Since they have the Khorne Mortal keyword, the Blood Stoker can give everyone in a unit a +3 inch move, which comes in real handy when you're talking cavalry. So now you have units that can, from turn 1, go up and capture objectives and things like that, or at least sit on them to defend them from your opponent getting them. Everybody in the army also gets the +1 to attack, which is an immense value when you talk about chosen and things like that. So don't ever neglect the synergies. Really, Bloodbound exists to synergize with the Khorne keyword. The thing is, Bloodbound is not always the best way to go. In my opinion, I really prefer Slaves to Darkness more. I could do a video about why that is particularly, but enough to say, I really do like that these guys are a little bit hardier in combat with their saves and things like that. Whereas the Bloodbound offer a lot of things, but I find that they don't have, with the exception of those like core models, Bloodstoker and Blood Secretor, they don't really bring an immense amount of things to the table that you'd be missing out with if you took these guys. So that's kind of the idea behind the heavily mortal ones. You take Bloodbound and these guys, and you can use Bloodthirsters and things like that. Say thematically, say you had a Khornate warband that was worshipping a particular Bloodthirster, or like that was their patriarch essentially, and they follow him into battle. So you have a big Bloodthirster right in the center, and then everyone else around him, and they do their thing. So that would be another thematic army. Last one I want to talk about, if we're talking thematic here, and roll with me, if you took a bunch of wizards, I want to see this done by somebody because I thought of it but don't want to do it, and modeled them to where they were like bound up, you could I think it would be cool to have one where a storyline where your warband doesn't like magic, but they understand it's a necessary evil, so they torture wizards to summon bloodthirsters and that. So you could have your small mortal army summoning demons and stuff like that all over the board, which I just really think would be really cool. You know, if you're talking thematic, you're probably not being terribly competitive. You probably want to do well, but not immensely. Talk with your opponent, come up with kind of fun stuff like, hey, if he summons a bloodthirster, then the wizard dies instantly, right? You'll just take that. So stuff like that can be a lot of fun. So those are my 3 options: heavy demons, heavy mortals, or kind of a very thematic warband where you make up your own storyline, have captured wizards, and you can do kind of the best of both. Droggy, I hope this answers your question. Again, if you have a question you want an idea for, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. Please remember that we are selling our own line of gaming mats set in the realm of death, as well as they also work for 40K as well as a lot of Martian landscapes and things like that. Click in the link in the show notes to go check it out, and don't forget to use coupon code IAMTOUGH to get $20 off your order. Thank you so much for your time. Happy wargaming.